What's up, guys? It's your boy, Brahma Gandhi, back with some more Choices That Matter in the Sun Without. And in the last episode, if you haven't watched it, just go watch it. I'm not gonna even recap. But you may have saved many more, you reason taking my arm. Come, I'll have somebody come and collect his body. With nothing else to do, I let him lead me away. My phone beeped then. It had been so long since I had last heard it that for a moment I looked around confused. I slowly took it out of my pocket and saw the message. It was from Vadik. What the fuck do you got now, Vadik? Gear up. Our lift will be here as soon as possible. We need to know what direction they're coming from. I waited a long moment for a reply, but I didn't get one. Eventually, I had to give up and move forward, otherwise we'd never be ready for the reinforcements. How do you think Mr. Pratik managed to find us a way out? Illegally, probably. I said, I hope they're coming by air. I fear that might be the only way out. Fear is new to me, but I feel that way too. At least yours is just simulated fear. Bodhi didn't reply to that. I suddenly grabbed Wong's arm and leaned close to his ear. Vadik's organized transport to get us out, I whispered. I want the injured ready to go first. Can you handle that? Actually being useful? He asked in mock disbelief. Sure, I'm pretty sure I can handle it. I can handle that. Thanks. I stepped away and raised the radio to call out. Alright everyone, Vadik's pulled through and our getaway driver is on their way. Hold your positions, we're almost out the other side. The leaders of each group were just those who had radios replied. I had confirmation. I took a deep breath and rubbed my temple. You don't seem happy, teacher. Yeah, no fucking dip. What the fuck you think I'm not happy about? It is nearly done. Too many lives have been lost, Modi. A rumble shook the ground, and I staggered on my way to the door to do my part with a weapon. I fumbled for my radio and yelled into it. What the hell was that? I thought the tank was blown up. Dolores answered, the background of the crackle transmission sounding deadly. I didn't even know where she was. Don't tell me that fucking Dolores is dead too. Vadik managed to redirect the missile. It's taken out a whole group of them. If we've got a getaway plan, I suggest we use it now. I breathed a sigh of relief. The shuttle was safe. Sharon was safe. We had succeeded, but at what fucking cost? Someone's going to have to break the news to Sharon. Vadik gave his life to do it. Oh shit, Vadik is dead. Oh boy. My heart skipped a beat. We'd succeeded, but at a steep cost, it seemed. Bodhi, get Wong moving. We leave first chance we get. Yes, teacher. I will also continue trying to contact the shuttle. I have not heard anything yet. I swear, if Sharon dies, I'm just gonna give up. And I'm literally gonna restart the whole arc. I didn't want to think about the possibility that we might not hear anything from them ever again. Also, I believe Mr. Vadik's getaway driver has arrived. I looked to the sky in confusion. I don't see anything. Are they coming from the other side? How do you know? I don't see anyone. Trust me, teacher. You will see them soon. Don't worry. I am worrying, okay? I waited, tense and flinching with each new explosion or gunshot. I didn't think there was much more that my heart could take before it gave out. Dolores rushed in through the open front door, deftly avoiding bullets and returning fire at the same time. Turning, she saw me and shouted, "Call everyone in and get the cars loaded. We're busting through." I was confused, but knowing how every wasted second could affect the outcome, I called over the radio for everyone to retreat into the building. Dolores had already started moving people into place and carving out an area for our new friends. What do you mean, get in the cars? Aren't we going by air? I asked, moving to stand next to the door with her. Dolores gave me a look of glee, eyes twinkling. But smarter than that, he said, nodding to the person on the other side of the barn door. With a great heave, the person pushed open the barn doors, widening the area exposed in that building. What are you doing? I yelled, terrified. Before anyone could answer, there was a loud shriek of metal on metal, and our enemies outside screamed. 3 fire trucks, each one a giant metal tank in its own right, plowed through the careful lines that the company and the Russian military had formed. I stared, mouth open in awe. We won't all fit in those fire trucks. That's why there's 2 buses coming up the rear, Matron said, grabbing some of the gear beside me. It should be more than enough with our losses. Right, let's get this done, I muttered, helping with the door. Dolores made sure there was enough room for the fire trucks to turn around as our buses pulled into the barn. As soon as they skidded to a stop, a few of us stayed by the door, taking pot shots to keep the wolves at bay. A brutish man with a thick handlebar mustache came up beside me, a bulky weapon in hand. Stand back, he yelled, his British accent thicker than his facial hair. He pulled the trigger and a tongue of flame shot out of the nozzle, setting the wooden barricades on fire, creating a curtain of fire between us and the advancing horde. Time to go, chaps. If you say so, I muttered, making sure everyone went ahead of me. I wasn't going to allow anyone to be left behind, not after everything we've already been through. What about the dead, teacher? We can't leave them behind. You're right. Stop. We still got more work to do. I'm not doing it. You stay here. The only work you'll be doing is dying, the Brit snarled, gripping me tightly by the upper arm and hauling me into the fire truck with him. I wasn't strong enough to resist him. Not that I was weak, but he just had many, many more muscles than an ordinary human should have. Aboard the fire truck at the front of the line, we all started pulling out. I looked back and made sure that everyone was following us, with no stragglers left behind. Get your head in the truck, blimey, you trying to lose your noggin? I pulled back into the cab of the truck and sunk into the seat as we drove straight through the fire, bracing myself for a collision. I turned to him. Blimey, noggin, are you trying to be a walking stereotype or just bored? He laughed while I flinched as we hit the side of a tank. The fire truck tipped on one side, but within the space of a heartbeat, we landed flat again. Nah, my old pop is just a traditionalist, he explained. You stick around a person long enough, you learn to talk, so to speak. Right, I said, unable to relax even after we made it to the open road. What teacher means is that we are very grateful. Thank you for coming to the rescue. Who's that? He asked, looking at my radio. I held up my wrist with Modi on it by way of explanation. Modi, radio back to the others. Make sure everyone got out. Yes, right away. Then I eyed the driver of my large getaway truck. He wasn't wearing fireman gear, but blue overalls instead. Who are you, Britt? He eyed me warily before checking the rearview mirror to see if anyone was lagging behind. Just a person. I owed a favor to an old friend. He would have honored it if it was the other way around. I took a deep breath and tried to calm myself. This has all been so awful. You have a safe place to take us? Airport, he said abruptly. There's a Hercules carrier fueled and ready to fly off with whoever needs to get out of the country. I looked at him again, this time with more curiosity. How on earth did you arrange that? Who are you to even be able to do that? He laughed, not taking the question too seriously or with too much scorn. Name's Philip Stamper. Friend called me Stamp. Once upon a time, I fled my own country and came here with little in my pocket, but lent fatigue made me my fortune out of my misfortune, and I owed him my life ever since. I don't know if that sounds more or less like the fatigue I know, I said, thinking about both the side of him that had been trying to win Sharon back and the other side, the one that ran headlong into battle to help others. I'd like to see the old chap, the Brit said. I was too preoccupied to find him with all the bullets afire. I had to swallow a couple times before I could get the words out of my mouth. He died, I croaked. I asked him to take care of something, and he died getting it done. He single-handedly saved the shuttle from a missile. Stamp didn't say anything for a moment. I'd believe that of the damn fool. His voice was low, angry, and sad. I started relaxing. It still seemed that no one was following us. Maybe we were out of the woods. Tell me how you've done this. He gave me a sly smile. It's been a long time since I was a reject with lint in my pocket, he said darkly. You don't need to know the particulars. Fair enough, then, I mothered. Conversation seemed to dry up after that. Though I knew that I should stay awake to keep an eye on my people, I couldn't manage it. The rumbling and the bored whistling of stamps swayed me to sleep. Teacher, wake up, please. I blinked in the harsh light. It was mid-afternoon and the sun was setting. The buses had been emptied and Matron was organizing the transfer of goods from the vehicle to the cargo plane. Modi, have you heard from the shuttle yet? No, teacher, nothing. It does not mean that they are dead. That's only a percentage of the perceivable outcomes. Being positive, Modi, I think we're past that now. Thanks, Modi, that actually makes me feel better, much better. The door opened and I nearly fell out of the truck. Wong laughed, catching my arm, stating me, Time to get to work, friend. We've got places to be. I nodded and carefully climbed down, embracing Wong tightly when my feet hit the ground. I'm sorry, Wong, I whispered softly. The Atherites are all gone. I never meant. We knew what we were getting ourselves into, he said, stopping me. I kept thinking, why is it always me? Why am I always the one who survives? But it's clear now. I don't understand, I confessed, frowning. I'm taking the knowledge of hundreds of years and giving it to another group, he explained, eyes glassy with both sadness and excitement. The children of Gaia and Atherites have been feuding for too long. We need to join forces to make sure this never happens again. Sounds like you've got your next step all figured out, I sighed, wishing I had a direction to go into. We'll see what happens, he shrugged, moving away. Teacher, the cargo plane is nearly ready to take us back home. Home? What a strange word. Yes, teacher. Our destination is America. I looked around at all of our friends, some injured, others distraught. Nope, you're going to collect the damn bodies. Stamper, I called, seeing the man himself standing with his hands on his hips, watching people load up into the plane. He was an oddity, like a sketch character brought to life. If I had to guess, I'd say that he was head and shoulders shorter than me, but with zero body fat and built like a professional weightlifter. He turned to me and waved. Just Stamp, if you please. Makes me feel like a rabbit from a cartoon when people call me Stamper. Sure, I answered, and my mind seeing images of fawns and rabbits playing in animated flowers. I wonder if you could do me another solid. I'm kinda in the middle of the last thing I was asked to do, he said, indicating to the cargo plane with a bob of his head. Yeah, I know, but I hesitate watching other people gather around. I want to go back. Back into the fray, he asked, dryly unimpressed. You aren't exactly a fighter, my friend. No, I want to collect the bodies of the dead, I explained. I can't just leave them back there. They sacrificed themselves for us. Hopefully when we get there, the large men with guns will have moved off. He stared at me a long time, not giving any indication of his thoughts. Alright, he agreed. Do you want to take a bus or a truck? The bus will hold more, but won't have the defense if we run into trouble. I thought it over. Better take a truck. I told Wong what was happening, and he nodded. We'll wait for as long as we can, he reassured me. I've talked to the others, and they want to wait. It's important, but please, hurry. I embraced the Aetherites, then Stamp, and I got out into our vehicle. Stamp drove, heading back to the Cosmodrome. The drive wasn't as tense as it was when we were evacuating the battlefield. I closed my eyes for a while, but I didn't sleep. Stamp seemed happy to drive in silence. I was right in thinking that the attacking group at the Cosmodrome had moved on. I knew it wasn't long before they were back, so Stamp and I worked quickly. I regretted not bringing the bus now. The difficulty of fitting all the bodies onto the truck was more than we could handle. Some would have been left behind, and that made my stomach turn. However, at least if we ran into trouble on the way back, we'd have a chance. With the bus, we'd be defenseless. It was dark by the time we got back to the airport. The cargo plane was still there. I breathed deep in relief. I really wanted to go home. We moved the bodies from the truck to a bus, and it was loaded onto the cargo plane and secured. We made arrangements for burial and the like when we were sure we were safe. I felt numb as people approached and realized that I couldn't get their loved ones. But there was nothing I could do about that now. Soon, the cargo plane was ready to take off. Stamp and his friends decided to join us. Wanted a change of scenery, they said. Can we trust them, teacher? No, I don't think we can. I see, teacher. I still have no communications from the shuttle. I hope they are safe. Me too, I murmured, sitting on a box in the corner. The plane was crowded, filled with more people than I knew we still had. I was glad, however, it made me feel like we hadn't lost as much as I had first assumed. Most people were sitting on the floor or on boxes like me. I didn't know what were in the boxes, but I was glad they were here. The small comforts in life seemed so important now. Stamp made his way over and sat next to me, chewing on gum. How long since you've been home? He asked, making himself comfortable. Too long, I answered, closing my eyes. I wasn't really in the talking mood. Yeah, what was home like before you left? Still together mostly? He asked, ignoring my demeanor. I sighed and opened my eyes again to answer. Yeah, mostly. I left before the second sun outage incident, and most people were still filled with hope and optimism. He nodded, chewing silently for a moment. I thought about Russia and how governments around the world had collapsed. I guess I should have checked as soon as we were in the air, I admitted. What if we were jumping out of the lawless frying pan of Russia into the fire of America? America has better stability than many places, teacher, though many of the states have succeeded to form their own country. We're going to need passports, Stamp muttered, clearly displeased. I doubt it would matter at this point. I hope so, he muttered, rubbing his forehead. My lads look to me to take care of them. I don't want to let them down. I looked around at all the people who had come to help us in our time of peril. Many of these people aren't from America, I realized suddenly. Modi got them all to us, but now I'm not sure what they will do. Actually, teacher, I've handled that. Well, when I summoned everyone to Russia, I organized both Russian and American passports for everyone. Not physical, of course, but everyone is in the system. Stamp and I stared at Modi with surprise. Then again, I didn't know why I was surprised, considering all the things Modi had done recently. Everyone had passports, even if they weren't physically on the plane. It eased the weight from my shoulders. What about Stamp and his friends, Modi? I will need everyone's full names and date of birth. Here, I said, unstrapping Modi from my wrist. Record everything you need and bring Modi back to me. I won't forget this, trust me, he said, hurrying away. I was alone for no longer than a few moments before Yumi ran up to me, climbing onto the box and settling into my lap. He's been asking to come and sleep next to you for the past few hours, Penny, his guardian said. She herself sat cross-legged on the floor in front of us. I don't have Modi on me, I said. I knew Yumi's fondness for Modi-Khan. His big eyes looked up at me. You need love too, he murmured quietly. Thank you, Yumi. I'm not going to be rude to him. Yumi said nothing else and just closed his eyes. Within minutes, he was snoring. Sorry, Penny said, not seeming to actually be sorry. He doesn't really listen to anyone. free spirit, you know. Not exactly what I'd call it, I muttered, but truthfully, I wasn't bothered, even though I'd snapped many times that day. I settled back and closed my eyes to sleep. Soon enough, we were back on American soil and we had to work through the legality of sending everyone else home. Modi's pool of siphoned money from the company was insanely useful. We were able to afford private pilots to get people home. When all was said and done, it was the next day and I thought about going back to my apartment, to my home. But I couldn't. Dolores slid up beside me and gave me a tired smile. You think they found anything up there? She asked, looking to the sky. Modi hasn't heard anything, I admitted, but I hope there isn't anything else left to do. I suppose you'll be glad to get home. I have to see if there's anything left at my place. With that gunshot and broken window, it might actually be empty. I never asked, but how did you get away when they came for you? I asked curiously. You know what, I'm going to end the video right here, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.